comes to energy. So much of the country is enjoying a boom right now, at a time of a boom in energy supply in the United States. In the United States, when we're seeing a transformation of another sort, and that is just this surge in oil and gas production, you're watching Platts Energy Week, connecting policy, markets, and trends. Hello, I'm Bill Loveless. Welcome to Platts Energy Week. Last winter's unusually cold weather and high heating bills made it tough for U.S. consumers. The notorious polar vortex also put heavy pressure on energy supply lines, especially in the Northeast and Midwest. So what can we expect this winter? Joining me to discuss the 2014 Winter Fuels Outlook is Adam Szyminski, the head of the U.S. Energy Information Administration. Adam, welcome back to the program.
Bill, it's a pleasure to be here.
So Adam, how are things shaping up for this winter?
Things actually are starting off better than where we were last year.
Energy diplomacy is playing a bigger role at the U.S. State Department amid ongoing upheavals in the Mideast, new tensions in Europe, and growing concerns over climate change around the world. A bureau specifically assigned to energy relations was launched in 2011 to help navigate these new challenges. Now, the man responsible for those efforts is stepping down. But before he leaves, I'm pleased to have Carlos Pascual, the State Department's Special Envoy for International Energy Affairs, back on the show. Welcome back, Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you very much. A pleasure to be here.
You know, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, back in 2011, I believe it was, at Georgetown University, gave a rather prominent speech on energy and diplomacy. She said that energy diplomacy is a necessary component of national security, human rights, and global economics. You were there then. You helped the Secretary prepare for that speech. How have you carried out that responsibility as this special envoy?
Well, first of all, it's just been a phenomenal honor to have an opportunity to play this role for Secretary Clinton, for Secretary Kerry.
Now we'll take a look at energy headlines from around the world. Exploration for oil in the North Sea continues to decline. A new report from the financial services firm Deloitte says companies drilled 7 wells off the United Kingdom's coast in the second quarter of the year. That's down from 17 wells last year. Calls for crude oil exports from the U.S. continue in Washington as producers pump more and more out of the ground. But sometimes overlooked is the fact that rising production is finding its way into world markets at increasing rates, but in the form of refined products, not crude oil. Here to talk about this phenomenon from Houston is Richard Swan, Platts Editorial Director for America's Oil. Richard?
Hi, Bill. Yeah, you're right. The crude oil export debate seems to hog the headlines. The volumes are pretty small.
If Republicans retake the Senate in the midterm elections this November, Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski will become the chairman of the Senate Energy Committee. I met with her on Capitol Hill and asked her about her home state, Alaska, and what her plans would be if she gets the gavel. In oil and gas, so much of the country is enjoying a boom right now. North Dakota, Texas, even the Gulf of Mexico is coming back, but it's not happening in Alaska, right, where in fact oil production is declining and natural gas remains stranded. Do you think that's going to change anytime soon?
I am betting everything that I have that it's going to change.
Hello, I'm Bill Loveless. Welcome to Platts Energy Week. Concerns over derailments of trains carrying crude oil are growing. A new emergency order from the Transportation Department calls crude on rail an imminent hazard to public safety and requires railroads to notify local officials before hauling Bakken oil through their jurisdictions. This comes after 8 major derailments on oil trains in the U.S. and Canada over the past year, the latest one in Virginia. For an update on the situation, I went to the Transportation Department to talk to Joseph Sabo, the head of the Federal Railroad Administration. Mr. Administrator, this surge in crude oil in the United States is largely because of the proliferation of production from North Dakota's Bakken shale. You know, what type of pressure is this putting on rail transportation in this country, and how big of a factor is it in these derailments that we've been seeing?
Well, it's an absolute game changer for the rail industry.
Hello, I'm Bill Loveless. Welcome to Platts Energy Week. A new U.S. Department of Energy award honors the nation's first Energy Secretary, James Schlesinger, who died earlier this year. Already well known for his leadership at the Pentagon and the CIA, Schlesinger arrived on the energy scene in 1977 as the nation reeled from oil crises, gasoline lines, and grim forecasts for energy security. He went on to become a major figure in U.S. energy policy and a benchmark for policymakers today. For this special edition of Platts Energy Week, I sat down at DOE headquarters with the current U.S. Energy Secretary, Ernest Moniz, to talk about Schlesinger's legacy and where we find U.S. energy policy today. Secretary Moniz, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Bill. Good to be here.
You are the 12th successor to James Schlesinger as Secretary of Energy. You've been around, you've watched energy policy from outside the government many years at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, now here at the Department of Energy. What does James Schlesinger mean to you?
Well, with Jim, there's so many aspects to comment on. First, obviously, was his founding of the Department of Energy.
That wraps up this week's program, but make sure to go to our website, plattstv.com, and follow us on Twitter, too, as we continue the conversation all week. I'm Bill Loveless. We'll see you next week.